The 36 Stratagems. Series 1 Strategies for winning battles used when offensive action is advantageous.
Episode 3. The third stratagem. Kill with a borrowed knife means to use the power of a third party to eliminate the enemy. The enemy is clear, but the ally is not yet determined. Use your ally to defeat the enemy. Without expending your own strength, deduce the outcome based on the principle of loss. Here is the story below.
In the early years of the 1st century CE, Wang Mang, a relative through imperial marriage, overthrew the Western Han dynasty and established the Qin dynasty. Faced with the oppressive taxation and tyrannical rule of the new regime, uprisings erupted across the land. Against this backdrop, Liu Yan and Liu Xiu, descendants of the Western Han imperial clan in Nanyang, joined forces with local magnates Li Tong and Li Yi, rallying a rebel army in their homeland. Within months, this insurgent force rapidly expanded to over 100,000 troops, becoming a pivotal military threat that deepened the crisis of Wang Mang's collapsing Qin regime. In 23 CE, rebel forces elevated Liu Xuan, a politically inexperienced scion of the Han imperial clan, to the throne, historically known as Emperor Gengshi. Following the establishment of the new regime, Liu Xuan rewarded key insurgent leaders. His cousin Liu Yan was appointed Grand Minister over the masses, equivalent to Chancellor overseeing central administration, while Liu Xiu received the title General of Ceremonial Warfare, overseeing military rites and commanding troops. The Gengshi regime then implemented a strategic military plan, deploying Liu Yan to lead the main force against the strategic stronghold of Wancheng, modern Nanyang, while dispatching Liu Xiu with a flanking detachment to engage at Kunyang, creating a coordinated north-south pincer strategy against Wang Mang's forces. The Battle of Kunyang, a pivotal military confrontation in the late Qin dynasty period, demonstrated Liu Xiu's mastery of military stratagems. Commanding insurgent forces, he decisively routed 400,000 elite troops, per the Book of the Later Hand, dispatched by Wang Mang's regime as reinforcements. This critical victory not only served as the watershed marking the Qin regime's decline from its zenith, but also precipitated the collapse of its political foundations, thereby establishing the decisive groundwork for the eventual rise of the Eastern Han dynasty. After months of protracted siege warfare, Liu Yan's forces successfully breached the defenses of Wancheng, modern Nanyang, securing complete control over this strategic stronghold. This victory not only represented the Gengshi regime's critical breakthrough in southern Henan, but also established vital momentum for subsequent campaigns to consolidate anti-Xin dynasty alliances across the Central Plains. As the political prestige and military clout of Liu Yan and Liu Xiu brothers continued to rise within the Gengshi regime, their expanding influence provoked profound unease among fellow rebel commanders. Li Yi, an original founding commander of the Nanyang Uprising, opportunistically defected to the faction of Grand Minister of Works Zhu Wei, head of the Ministry of Works and core power holder in the Gengshi court, openly severing ties with the Liu brothers. Secretly advising Emperor Gengshi Liu Xuan, Li Yi fabricated slanderous accusations alleging Liu Yan's ambition in amassing autonomous military power. These calculated maneuvers ultimately culminated in Liu Xuan's fatal suspicions and determination to eliminate his increasingly formidable kinsman. With acute political acumen, Liu Xiu once cautioned his elder brother Liu Yan.
The Zhu Wei faction and Li Yi harbor concealed treacherous schemes. You must vigilantly guard against their machinations. Li Yi, in particular, is a man of duplicitous allegiance. His loyalty shifts like autumn winds, rendering him utterly unreliable as a vassal.
However, Liu Yan, arrogant from his military achievements, dismissed Li Yi's political opportunism with contempt. Mocking Li Yi as a clownish upstart unworthy of serious consideration, Liu Yan's response starkly exposed his deficiency in political Discernment during the turbulent power struggles of the Gengshi regime's court. Amid escalating power struggles within the Gengshi regime, the Zhu Wei Li Yi faction fabricated charges of defying imperial decrees to frame Liu Ji, a key general under Liu Yan's command, and imprisoned him. Liu Yan, driven by righteous indignation, vehemently defended his subordinate during court deliberations. Under the slanderous manipulations of Zhu Wei and Li Yi, Emperor Gengshi Liu Xuan issued an edict of execution, charging Liu Yan, Grand Minister over the masses, equivalent to Chancellor, and Liu Ji with factional insubordination, and had them publicly executed in the imperial court. Upon receiving the dire news of his brother's assassination, Liu Xiu, garrison commander of Fu City, was struck by lightning, his spirit shattered. Dismissing his attendants, he stood alone at the battlement's edge, weeping with heart-rending anguish as tears stained his battle-worn armor. When the initial wave of grief subsided, he raised his sword toward the heavens and swore, "This agony shall be cleansed only with the severed heads of Zhu Wei and Li Yi." The mournful winds howling through Fu City's ramparts seemed to herald the coming tempest of vengeance from this future Emperor Guangwu posthumous title, a storm that would reshape the course of history and ultimately topple the crumbling Qin dynasty. Confronting Emperor Gengshi Liu Xuan's authoritarian dominance, Liu Xiu soberly assessed the political landscape and concluded that his limited political capital and military assets rendered him incapable of posing an immediate threat. Suppressing his grief over his brother's execution, he deliberately avoided mourning rituals, neither erecting a memorial altar nor donning white funeral garments, and instead journeyed to Wan City, the provisional capital, in the guise of a penitent official. Prostrating himself before the steps of the Weiyang Palace replica, Liu Xiu tearfully petitioned, "Your humble servant failed in his duty to admonish his brother, whose overreaching transgressions warranted 10,000 deaths. I implore your Majesty's magnanimous pardon." This calculated act of political theater, simultaneously disarming suspicion and feigning submission, led Liu Xuan to fatally underestimate his rival's ambitions. The emperor consequently granted Liu Xiu the title Prince of Xiao under the pretext of redeeming guilt through merit, unwittingly enabling Liu Xiu's grand strategy of strategic concealment, wherein he covertly consolidated power while appearing harmlessly compliant. During covert deliberations within the Gengshi regime's power circle, the Zhu Wei Li Yi faction vehemently advocated executing Liu Xiu under the pretext of eradicating latent threats. Emperor Gengshi Liu Xuan, weighing political ramifications, acknowledged Liu Xiu's unparalleled military achievements, particularly his decisive victory at Kunyang, and feared summary execution might incite rebellion among Liu's veteran commanders. Consequently, Liu Xuan implemented a strategy of ostensible promotion with covert demotion, bestowing upon Liu Xiu honorific titles including General who pacifies the barbarians and Marquis of Wuxin, while stripping him of military command and transferring him from frontline deployment. Liu Xiu was forcibly retained in Chang'an as minister of the imperial household, nominally overseeing palace security but effectively placed under court surveillance, a calculated move to neutralize his influence through ceremonial confinement. In 24 CE, Liu Xiu embarked on a strategic northern expedition to Ji province, modern Hebei, as an imperial emissary of the Gengshi regime, establishing an autonomous political military base. Utilizing the strategic stronghold along the Hutuo River basin, he recruited regional elites and reorganized military forces, rapidly building a core armed contingent. During this critical phase, Deng Yu led 800 retainers from Nanyang to pledge allegiance, while Feng Yi marched south, with elite cavalry units from Yuzhou to join his cause. Through benevolent governance measures, including emancipation of slaves and tax relief, Liu Xiu not only secured support from scholar gentry clans, but also expanded his military forces to tens of thousands within months. Operating beyond the effective reach of the Gengshi regime's central authority, Liu Xiu quietly amassed the resources needed to ultimately claim the mandate of heaven in the northern territories. In the second year of the Gengshi era, 24 CE, following his formal break with the Gengshi regime, Liu Xiu swiftly launched a tripartite military strategy. Western Expeditionary Force. Liu Xiu ordered his trusted general Deng Yu to lead 20,000 elite cavalry through the Fen River Valley, advancing rapidly toward Chang'an. This maneuver aimed at severing the connection between the Gengshi regime and the powerful clans of Guanzhong, central Shanxi, thereby isolating the imperial capital. Eastern Defense Line. Feng Yi was appointed commandant of Mengjin, tasked with commanding 20,000 infantry to fortify strategic crossings along the Yellow River. His forces erected defensive bulwarks and closely monitored the movements of Zhu Wei and Li Yi's 150,000-strong garrison in Luoyang. Northern Campaign, Main Force. Leading his primary army, Liu Xiu personally spearheaded the northern expansion into the Yanzhou territories, modern Hebei. By consolidating control over these resource-rich regions, including grain-producing areas and horse-breeding pastures, he established a critical resource base for his ultimate claim to the imperial throne. In the second year of Jianshi under the Gengshi regime, 25 CE, Li Yi, who had played a role in the execution of Liu Yan, observed Emperor Gengshi Liu Xuan's debauchery and administrative negligence, gradually nurturing rebellious intentions. Secretly assessing the political landscape, he concluded that Liu Xiu possessed the strategic acumen and imperial bearing of Emperor Gaozu, founder of the Han, destined to inherit the mandate of heaven, Qianming. Yet haunted by his collaboration with Zhu Wei in orchestrating Liu Yan's demise during the first year of Jianwu, 23 CE, Liu Xiu's eventual regnal era, Li Yi feared irreversible condemnation. At this pivotal juncture, he found himself torn between political opportunism and moral quandary. Defecting to Liu Xiu might secure survival or even status in the nascent regime, but complicity in his brother's death would brand him eternally. Remaining loyal to Gengshi guaranteed destruction alongside the decaying regime. As commandant of Mengjin during the first year of Jianwu, 25 CE, Feng Yi, with his seasoned discernment honed through years of warfare, perceived with crystal clarity Li Yi's political vacillation between the declining Gengshi faction and rising Liu Xiu's camp. In the summer of 25 CE, Feng Yi secretly dispatched a trusted envoy bearing his personal letter across the Yellow River. The missive urged Li Yi to assess the times and act accordingly, and align with heaven's will and popular sentiment, meticulously detailing the Gengshi regime's imminent collapse. It further conveyed Liu Xiu's magnanimous promise to let past grievances perish, invoking the Book of Changes, Zhouyi maxim. Exhaustion begets change. Change begets transcendence. Through historical analogies, Feng Yi admonished Li Yi to emulate Zhang Liang's wisdom in choosing virtuous lordship rather than repeat Xiang Yu's fatal obstinacy. In the autumn of Jianwu 1st, 25 CE, after meticulously weighing political risks at his Luoyang residence, Li Yi composed a response to Feng Yi. Beyond perfunctory phrases like, "deeply grateful for your sagely guidance," Li Yi employed veiled diplomatic language, "matters of neighboring jurisdictions lie beyond my purview," to signal his stance. Should Liu Xiu's Hebei forces attack strategic strongholds like Gong County and Chengao under Henan Governorate's jurisdiction, his troops would honor a non-intervention pact, deliberately ignoring Zhu Wei faction's distress signals. This epitomized Li Yi's vacillating strategy, currying favor with Liu Shu's faction while avoiding overt rebellion against Gengshi, akin to Sun Tzu's doctrine of forging alliances at contested crossroads from the art of war. In the winter of Jianwu 1, 25 CE, honoring Li Yi's covert agreement, General Feng Yi led 12,000 elite infantry and cavalry northward through the Taihang Mountains, launching a surprise assault on Dajing Pass, a strategic stronghold known as the Key to Jinji, guarding Shaanxi-Hebei access. After swiftly capturing the pass, Feng Yi capitalized on momentum to seize Changzi City, the administrative center of Shangdang Commandery, within 5 days, thereby securing control over the vital Jiang River grain corridor. Turning southward, within weeks he captured 13 counties including Xuanxi and Gaodu, his forces advancing toward Henei, modern Qinyang, Henan. Throughout these campaigns, Zhu Wei repeatedly issued urgent dispatches pleading for reinforcements, but Li Yi, feigning ignorance, bolted the gates of Luoyang, allowing Feng Yi's Hebei forces to penetrate the central plains as if traversing undefended terrain. Upon discerning the strategic value of Li Yi's covert assistance, Feng Yi secretly dispatched a trusted envoy to present Li Yi's handwritten pledge of allegiance to Liu Shu, accompanied by a detailed memorandum outlining his clandestine support. In the memorial, Feng Yi urged Liu Shu to emulate Emperor Gaozu of Han's thousand-coin horse bone strategy, a warring state's metaphor for attracting talent, temporarily accepting Li Yi as a frontier vassal to destabilize Zhu Wei's forces, with post-campaign disposition deferred until after consolidating the Central Plains. However, upon reviewing the report and recalling his brother Liu Yan's death, Liu Shu outwardly praised Feng Yi's tactical ingenuity while secretly ordering confidentiality, replying with the terse directive, strategic patience, that masked his intent for deferred retribution. Unaware of his impending doom, Li Yi remained garrisoned in Luoyang, arrogantly presuming his contributions to Liu Shu's cause would ensure his safety. In the winter of Jianwu 1, 25 CE, Liu Shu directed his trusted agents to leak copies of the confidential correspondence between Li Yi and Feng Yi through urban rumor networks, deliberately disseminating the documents to Luoyang. After Zhu Wei's espionage network, embedded within the Hebei forces, intercepted this intelligence, a loyal colonel from his inner circle galloped overnight to Luoyang, delivering an urgent secret dispatch to Zhu Wei's residence. Upon discovering Li Yi's covert collusion with Liu Shu, Zhu Wei was enraged beyond restraint when irrefutable evidence of his subordinates' treasonous activities surfaced. He secretly ordered his personal guards to conceal axemen within his mansion, then invited Li Yi under the pretext of hosting a victory celebration banquet. Li Yi, mistakenly believing Zhu Wei remained unaware of his betrayal, arrived without his usual retinue and armed escort, utterly unaware that the northern palace in Luoyang had become a death trap lurk with impending danger. Zhu Wei suddenly set down his wine cup with a stern expression, sharply accusing Li Yi of colluding with the enemy. Panic-stricken and drenched in cold sweat, Li Yi stammered incoherently, unable to utter a single word, in self-defense. With a cold sneer, Zhu Wei clapped his hands. Armored guards rushed in at the signal, seized Li Yi by both arms and dragged him out of the hall. Moments later, a servant soon returned bearing Li Yi's severed head on a vermilion lacquer tray, blood still dripping from the grisly trophy. Thus perished the once mighty Nanyang warlord who had commanded 100,000 troops, felled by his former allies' banquet at Hongmen-style treachery. In the autumn of 25 CE, Liu Shu's forces advanced with unstoppable momentum and breached the defenses of Chang'an. Emperor Gengshi Liu Xuan, recognizing the irreversible collapse of his regime, surrendered in plain robes before the Weiyang Palace. In the first lunar month of the following year, 26 CE, Liu Shu ascended an altar at Qiangqiu Terrace in Haocheng, proclaiming himself emperor through a sacred covenant with heaven. He established Luoyang as the imperial capital, formally founding the Eastern Han dynasty. Hailed by later historians as Emperor Guangwu of Han, posthumous title, Brilliant Martial Emperor, for his achievement in restoring the Han legacy and fulfilling the mandate of heaven. This pivotal moment marked the end of a 15-year period of chaos following the Western Han's collapse and inaugurated the John Wu Prosperity Era, a golden age of reconstruction and stability.
The third stratagem, kill with a borrowed knife. This stratagem is primarily about skillfully utilizing the power of a third party, or exploiting or even inciting internal conflicts among your enemies to achieve victory. Learning to recognize this strategy can help you avoid being deceived and suffering significant losses. If you're inspired by strategies like this and want to explore more about ancient wisdom and modern applications, subscribe to the Light of Thought channel now. Let the light of wisdom guide your path.